people, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Naadia, and today we are talking about destination weddings. I cannot believe it, but I have officially been married for 3 months now. Like, where did the time go? I feel like I was just filming my proposal box video and we're here. That's crazy. Anyway, so I got married on October 29th, and I of course posted a ton of content both here on YouTube as well as TikTok, and I have gotten a ton of questions on TikTok about planning a destination wedding and what all it entails. So I thought, what better way to address it than, of course, making a YouTube video. So I'm going to split this video up into 2 parts because one video would just be way too long. So in this video, we're going to talk about the cost of the vendors that I use, the initial package that you get, just the process of booking, why I chose the resort I chose, and why I chose a destination wedding to begin with. So let's get into it. Okay, so I have my phone with me because I wrote down a lot of the questions that I was repeatedly getting asked on TikTok. So, number 1, why did I decide to do a destination wedding? And that is a 2-part answer, I guess. So, number 1, I wanted a really intimate wedding because I didn't want to have a wedding that had a ton of people that I just barely knew, or a ton of acquaintances, or like my grandma's cousin's sister twice removed on her uncle's side. You get what I'm saying? Like, I just wanted people that were there for the whole journey of my husband and I, like, you know, who really understood our love story and that could really appreciate the wedding. So that was the number 1 thing. And the second reason is there's a common misconception that having a destination wedding, you save a ton of money, and that it's like a more affordable or cheaper alternative to having a wedding in the States. And that is not the case. So I knew that I was probably still gonna spend a good chunk of money on the wedding. So I wanted it to be more so an experience, something that I could enjoy for more than one night. And that's exactly what you get with a destination wedding. You get to enjoy your friends and family for multiple days on end. So ultimately, those 2 reasons are the reasons that I decided to do a destination wedding. So another question that is commonly asked is, how did I decide on the resort that I wanted to have my wedding at? And that answer is kind of simple for me. I have known probably for like the last 10 years that I wanted to do a destination wedding when indeed that time came for me to get married. The resort that I chose was the very first resort that Xavier, my husband, and I went on, on vacation to as a couple, and we had the best time ever. Like, it was so much fun. The food was amazing. The customer service was amazing. It was clean. It was beautiful. The location was great. It was private and secluded. It was just a great overall experience. And from that vacation on, I decided that every time we went on vacation, I wanted to stay at like 5-star resorts, because essentially I wanted to compare and contrast the different resorts, because I really wanted to make sure that if I was going to make my friends and family, pay for airfare and pay essentially to be a guest at my wedding, I wanted to make sure that the resort was like top notch and that they were going to have the best time ever. And I know that I achieved that with this resort. The second reason that helped me to ultimately decide on this resort, because it was actually between this one and another one in Punta Cana, but I decided on this particular resort because the airfare was a lot more affordable all year round, and it was a pretty short flight for the majority of my guests. So obviously, to me, that was a no-brainer. They were both amazing resorts, but this one was a lot closer, and like I said, the airfare was pretty affordable year-round, so that was pretty much the deciding factor. Okay, so let's get into the details. So I had my wedding at Finest Playa Mujeres in Cancun. Well, technically, I think it's called like Isla Mujeres, but like when you fly there, you're gonna fly into Cancun, and it's a short drive from the airport to the actual resort, so I just kind of call it Cancun. Had 110 guests. It was 105 adults and 5 children. I had my wedding on October 29th, 2022. So I got engaged on September 17th, 2021. So we pretty much had like your traditional 1-year engagement season, and that was plenty of time for me to plan the wedding of my dreams. And I'm gonna give you some tips and tricks so that you can do the same. Okay, so I want to be as accurate as I possibly can with this video. So one question that I got was, how far in advance did I book my date? And I started the process on September 24th, 2021. So guys, I'm telling you, like, I knew I wanted a destination wedding, so it was literally a no-brainer. I probably contemplated a couple days between the two resorts. I reached out on September 24th and we kind of finalized everything as far as my date on October 6th. So I would advise you as the bride to start booking your date like almost immediately, because the dates fill up so quickly. I didn't know this, but my wedding coordinator told me that October and November are super popular in Cancun for weddings. So I was actually really lucky to get a Saturday evening wedding because it booked up so fast. When I reached out to her, within those few days, slots were getting booked up so quickly, and it was already a year like out in advance. So I thought that was crazy. And also keep in mind that you're not the only bride that's reaching out. So there is gonna be some gaps in between communication with you and whoever you're booking with. So like I said, I went back and forth with them. I asked several questions between September 24th and the actual day that I got my confirmation email on October 6th. So to answer that question, book as soon as you can, and I did mine over a year in advance. So as far as the process of booking, once you figure out the day that you want to have your wedding, at least this is my experience at the resort that I got married at, what was asked of me was that I was to book my stay for the wedding. So we stayed 7 nights. We stayed October 25th to November 1st. And I basically just had to book it. I sent proof of my booking via confirmation email to the sales department, and that is what essentially booked my wedding date. And from there, I was able to get the promo code to give to all of my friends and family so that they could book their rooms. So that is a perfect segue into the next question. And did I book my guest using a travel agent, or did I book them directly through the resort? And the answer is I used the resort to book all of my guests. Once my wedding date was confirmed, they gave me a personalized promo code that was valid for, I believe, like a year. My guests were able to freely book throughout the year using that code. That code locked them in at a specific rate, and it also was a great way to keep track of your guests because, like I said, I had 110 guests as my final wedding count. That's a lot of people to, you know, wrangle in and keep count of. So the promo code did an excellent job of doing that. And it also was able to allow me to get a lot of concessions towards the end, the closer we got to our wedding date. And I'm gonna go over concessions in a completely different video, but just know that the promo code will help you keep track of the amount of guests that are booking, and it will also help you to get freebies for your wedding, and who doesn't like freebies? Okay, so I also wanted to give you guys a little tip. When I initially booked my wedding, I expected like a wedding coordinator or a wedding planner to reach out to me to confirm where I wanted to have my reception and my ceremony. That was not the case. I randomly thought about it maybe like a month after booking, and I was like, how come they haven't asked me like where I want to get married at? So I emailed them and they're like, oh, your two options are the beach and the ballroom. The ballroom at this resort was not like the cutest thing in the world. I really wanted to have it at a different space at the resort, and that was my first meltdown of the year. I didn't have very many, but that was definitely one of them. It was booked already, and I just felt like, how come no one asked me? So my advice to you is when you book your wedding date, if you already have a space in mind that you want to do your cocktail hour, reception, ceremony, all that jazz, even your welcome party if you decide to do that. Go ahead and email them and try to lock that in, because you could end up in a situation like me. Okay, what is included in the bare bones package? So I ended up going with the Gold Wedding Excellence package, and with that package you're going to get an on-site assistance by our wedding coordinators. You'll get a minister or judge to complete your ceremony for you. Standard ceremony decor, which will include like white chairs, high tables, white fabric. You get 1 cocktail hour, 4 hours of a gold level private dinner, sparkling wine during your main toast, wedding cake, 4 boutonnieres or corsages. You'll get a sound system for your ceremony, a 45-minute romantic or Caribbean music trio. You'll also get your hairstyle and makeup done for the bride, a complimentary balanced duet massage, which was amazing, and then you'll also get 15% discount on all spa treatments. As far as photography goes, you will get 20 digital full color photos, a 15-minute video of this ceremony, because that's pretty much how long it's gonna last. And that's pretty much it. I skipped over a couple things, but that package was $2,400, and that covers 20 guests. So if you have over 20 guests, you have to pay an additional fee per guest. So every guest over 20, you have to pay $45, and that will cover the ceremony, cocktail hour, as well as the dinner. And for each child over that 20 amount is gonna be $25. And they consider a child age 4 to 12. And then if they're under 4, you don't have to pay for them. So I paid for 90 guests over that 20 guests that was included in the gold package. So that is all that is included. So as far as like centerpieces, chargers, like, you know, your gold Tiffany chairs, arches, extra decor, anything like that is not going to be included. So that is where vendors come in. Yay! Vendors. Unfortunately, before I started this process, I had no idea what an outside vendor fee was. I didn't know it existed. I thought, like, if I didn't want to use whoever they had, I could just bring whoever I wanted in. Totally not the case. So at this resort, if you choose to use outside vendors for floral, decor, DJs, anything you can think of really, even makeup and hair, you are going to have to pay an outside vendor fee. So as of 2022, when I was planning, the outside vendor fee was $600 per vendor. So I did outside vendors for the DJ, the flowers and decor, the tent, and the photography and videography. So in total, I spent about $3,000 in outside vendor fees, and that is not including obviously what I paid each vendor to do whatever the task I was hiring them for. Also, a fun fact, brides, if you are planning specifically at Finest, your photographer and your videographer are going to be 2 completely separate vendor fees. So $600 and $600. They consider them to be doing 2 separate jobs, even if it's within the same company. So let's talk about my vendors. I use Anna Lopez Photography for my photography and videography. And with that package, I got 8 hours of photo and video. I had 2 photographers and 2 videographers. The total cost of that was $37.50. That was obviously not including the outside vendor fee. She was worth every single penny. If you guys are looking for, I believe she's closed up for 2023, but 2024 brides, if you are looking for a photographer, I cannot recommend her enough. She was amazing. I paid an additional $250 for an additional videographer because with us having such a large wedding, they wanted to make sure that they were able to get all of the moments. That was the cost for our videography and photography. So the next vendor that I use that I am totally equally obsessed with is Total Tints. I worked with Carlos. He had immaculate communication the entire year, and with him I got a party frame, so it was 50 by 65 feet. I also got flooring, draping, fairy lights, and 2 chandeliers, and then the transportation and operation fee is also bundled into this price. We paid a total of $6,300 for Total Tints, and like I said, not including the outside vendor fee. I don't know why. I was just so blown away that we had to pay to have like outside vendors, but it's just a part of the process. We also used an outside DJ, and the total cost for him was $750. He stayed a total of 4 hours, which was the duration of the entire reception. We didn't need him for the ceremony, and during the cocktail hour we had a live band playing, so we didn't need him then. Okay, so the last vendor that I used was for the Florals and Decor, and I want to say I spent around $2,000 because I'm like looking through our messages. We went back and forth so many times because I was constantly like adding or taking away or changing the flowers, so I really can't find, I feel like I can't find the last thing that we decided on, but all the numbers are pretty much around the same price, which was about $2,000. I got gold Tiffany chairs, I got floral arrangements for the arch itself, I got centerpieces, charger plates, like cuter chairs for the sweethearts table, bouquets for all of my bridesmaids, and boutonnieres for my groomsmen. Also got an arrangement for the sweethearts table, and then I also got a welcome sign. So that was a ton of stuff for $2,000. So she was worth every penny. Another fun fact, brides, my bouquet was actually done at the resort. So if you're nervous about using the bouquet that the resort provides, don't be. My wedding coordinator was amazing at, you know, making my vision come to life as far as my personal bouquet went. So 10 out of 10 on that as well. Okay, I told you guys this video is gonna be long. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you are planning a destination wedding, girl, hang in there. It's gonna be so worth it. And stay tuned for my next video. I'm gonna go over concessions and a bunch of other fun things that you're gonna wanna know about. So if you haven't already, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.